Hi there, I'm Katie Farner, Superstar Director for the Sunshine State Superstars, and I have a special guest with me, Superstar Director Jenn Audette.
Hi! Yay, I'm so excited to be here.
I am so grateful that you took the time to come here and hang out on the Sunshine State Superstars group page, and I am super honored to be able to ask you some questions today and pick your brain. I have to give a little intro to Jenn here for a minute and say that Jenn is actually one of my mentors in Scentsy. I look up to her so much. She is someone that I've always been success sponging. Anything that she says, anything that she does, I soak it up and apply it. And I hope that you'll be able to do the same today with what she shares with me or with us. And she is actually the first person that the first superstar director that I really connected with in Scentsy. She took me under her wing when I was at leadership my first time and brought me into her group, made me feel part of her family, which was super awesome. And I've always been grateful to her and her team for being that to me, really being my first Scentsy family connection that I had. So Jenn has a very special place in my heart. And in fact, her team name is Main Stars. And that really inspired me because one time I heard Orville Thompson say that Maine would not be what it is without Jenn Audette. So I thought, you know what? I want that to be said about Florida for me and my team. So that's why I named my team Sunshine State Superstars. So Jenn has just inspired me in so many ways. She's a wonderful person, super sweet, big heart, and just a marketing and branding and building genius. And so I'm super excited that we have a little bit of her time this morning to talk to her. So thanks again, Jenn, for joining us.
Oh, you're so awesome. Thank you. You're making me feel so special.
You are. I mean, I really mean every word of it. You're very, very special.
I think so highly of you. You inspire me. There's nothing better than to have others come in that have as much passion as I have, because I'll tell you, it's fun to surround yourself with people that believe what you believe and are going to go for the dream that you're going for too. So sorry, go ahead.
No, I love it. See, I'm soaking it up. Okay, so what I really wanted to talk to you about, Jenn, is people who are building teams, maybe small teams, young teams, people who are superstar consultants, young directors, really focusing on these titles and people who obviously are wanting to pursue these titles. So let's talk for a second. You have shared before your 2-year plan. It's very, very cool. You've proven that it works. So why don't you go ahead and tell us about your 2-year plan?
Yes. Oh, sorry, you're pausing on me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Perfect. I can hear you now. Yes. Sorry.
Okay. No problem.
Oh.
Did you hear my question?
No, I didn't. I'm sorry. No. I don't know what's happening.
Sorry. No, that's okay. I probably have bad connection. So what I was saying is you have shared your 2-year plan before, and you've proven that it works. A lot of your group members have proven that it works. So I'd love for you to explain your 2-year plan to us.
Okay, perfect. It's funny because your mouth keeps going, and I think that's because the service is bad. Your mouth keeps going and you stop talking, so I thought there was more. So yes, the 2-year plan. So originally when we came up with this idea, so my sponsor is Becca Levi, who is amazing, and I have learned so much from her, of course. And so together we kind of came up with this whole 2-year plan idea. And what it was originally was if you sell 2,000 in PRV every single month, and you sponsor 2 people within 2 to 5 years. We used to say within 2 years, you could have the salary of a doctor or a lawyer. So it was 2, 2, and 2. We've kind of expanded it a little bit because we don't want people to have false hope. But this is a guarantee, if you recruit 2 people every single month and teach them to also do the 2-year plan, and you sell $2,000 every month, within 2 to 5 years, you will absolutely make the salary of a doctor or a lawyer. Now, of course, I have to throw in the income disclosure here because we're not supposed to give, we're not supposed to give false hope to people. But honestly, it works. If you work the business, if you talk to enough people, if you get out of your house and share Scentsy, you absolutely can accomplish what we call the 2-year plan award every single month. And it will take you so far. It's amazing what it's done for me and what I've watched it do for many other people. It is a fantastic goal every single month. 2,000 PRV, 2 new recruits, but don't let those 2 recruits just sign up. You have to really help them and train them and get them to STAR is another one of my tips. Is anybody under you, you want them to be a STAR consultant. It's a race to get them to STAR. It's a race for you to get to STAR as fast as you can.
I love it. So you're talking about 2,000 PRV. Hearing that might intimidate some younger STAR, superstar consultants, or even some young directors hearing that 2,000 PRV. What tips would you give for being able to maintain 2,000 PRV? Like, what do you think the real secret is to being able to maintain that kind of retail volume every single month?
So honestly, it's strange to me that people struggle with that so much, because I love Mary Christensen. So if you haven't read all of her books, you should. She is brilliant. She gives you specific ideas, specific goals to do, things that all you have to do is follow what she says and it works. So one of the best tips I got from her was the front loading your calendar. So if you book 4 parties the first week of every month, I know that sounds like a lot, but you can. 3 parties the second week, and these could be basket parties, they could be home parties, they could be events, whatever. I'm just saying parties in general. So 4, 3, 2, 1. There's no way you're not going to hit your 2,000 PRV. I always keep fundraisers as a backup plan. So I make sure I always have my lists that I can go to. And just for example, I just contacted 2 days ago a cheerleading coach, and I said, hey, I know tryouts are coming up soon, and I know you guys could you could probably use some extra money. Let's do a fundraiser. And she said, okay. So she has 17 girls. I'm giving them each a goal to sell $500. We know that they won't all sell $500, but I have a busy month already, but that is the backup plan. So in case any of my parties cancel or anything happens, I'm still going to hit my 2,000 PRV. And I have access to all of these amazing people that I am going to, when I deliver their fundraiser, I'm going to put a little slip in their bag that says, hey, if you'll book a party from me, I'll give an additional 10% from your party back to the organization, back to the cheerleaders. So you know I'm going to book some parties, and I'm also going to put lots of join information in there. And so because of that, I'm definitely going to have at least 2 people who are going to ask me about the business opportunity. So I like to give a little bait too. Like I'll sometimes put in the box, contact me, or I'll put just so many different ways. So I want to give them a reason to get back to me and just ask me. So I might have a little bonus. If you contact me and ask me about the business opportunity, I might have a little something special for you. Or another thing that I'll do to book parties, I know my brain is so scattered, and this is,
I just love it.
Things and I just say them, but I have, you know, those little lucky stickers. I don't know if you've seen them. I just print a 4-leaf clover on the Avery 5160 labels, and I just write, I think it says, you've received my lucky sticker, book a party with me, get a free nightlight. Or you could put, ask me about, I guess, you can't offer anybody anything to join your team, but you can talk to them. So you could change it up to, talk to me about the business opportunity, and I have something fun for you. You don't have to necessarily say what it is, but I stick one of those in every single order inside of every single bar. So my little lucky sticker, which I got that idea from another superstar director.
That's cute. I've never heard that. I like that.
Really cool. I love doing it. And so, and I get calls all the time. Mine right now, they say, if book a party, get a free nightlight. So that, you know, they think they found my lucky sticker, and they think, oh my gosh, I'm the only one that's going to get a free nightlight because I called her from that bar of wax. So that works really well. But it's just getting out there. And so many times we think that if we just sit on Facebook and we surf the internet and we're going to get in all these groups and we're going to do this, it works. I totally understand. But I'll tell you, when I started Scentsy, there was no Facebook. So the only way I could work my business was to leave my house. Some days I would pack up and just go walk around the mall, and I'd have samples in my bag or information on joining, and I would just talk. I would go stores and just with people, try to book parties. And one thing that I've learned over time is that I've done really well with striking up join conversations, as I know you have also, Katie, but I know that a lot of people kind of struggle with, if people are scared to actually approach somebody and start talking to them about the business opportunity, I have found that those people typically might do better by doing a party first. So if you actually book a party with them, then there's no better training than on the job training. So go do a party with them and then flip that party and hand them that amazing gift of their very first party that hopefully they've already earned the Shooting Star Award. So, but it's just, my point was getting out of your house and meeting people locally, because the internet is amazing. I know you can recruit amazing people, and there are some amazing people that came from the internet. Not that I'm amazing, but I came from the internet. So Becca Levi actually sponsored me from the internet. But my personal top rock stars all came from home parties that I did. So I have a lot of belief in the home party system. I feel like maybe if there were a statistic, for every 10 people that I've recruited off the internet, maybe one really stays around for, for the long haul, maybe two, which is awesome, because sometimes I feel like they're a little bit easier to find, I guess. But my home party people that I found, that I've really worked with and really built this strong relationship, even though I feel like Katie and I were in the same house right now, there's something different, of course, you guys know, about being literally in the same house with somebody and going out to lunch with them and being able to do those kinds of things and have fun. I feel like the relationship was a little bit stronger. So like I said, my top leaders, most have come from face-to-face contact, from doing a home party with them. But I don't discount the internet. I actually I'm gaining more and more faith in the internet, because I feel like it's getting stronger. There is a lot of opportunity out there, obviously. So I know that I probably did not even answer your question.
No,
I bounced all over the place.
I love
don't even remember what the question was.
You added tons of beneficial little pearls too, so I love that. Okay, so another question that I have that's come to mind. Okay, so when someone, let's say, is a brand new director, maybe they just promoted within the last 6 months, even within the last year, they're still a new director. Maybe they have a young team. They're trying to engage their team on a team page that can often be quiet. They're trying to recognize on a budget. They don't have a lot of money to do incentives and things like that. What are some things that you would suggest for engaging the team? People are always saying, how do I motivate my team members? Which we know we can't motivate people, but what would you say to those people who are trying to engage, trying to encourage that growth, trying to maintain director numbers? What would you say to those young directors?
Okay, so two things that come to mind. One is, and I have no idea where I got this idea, and I did this back when I was really focusing on hitting my director numbers, is I got one of those big giant desk planners, and I would write down on my planner the name of every single person on my team, and I would personally call each of them at the beginning of the month, or maybe the end of the month prior, and I would say, okay, I'm planning out my month. I want to make sure that our team hits director numbers. So I need to know what your plan is. And so I would say, what is on your calendar right now? And I would kind of show them. Sometimes I would snap a picture of the calendar and text that to them first, and then say, I'm going to call you and find out what's on your list, so on your schedule, so that I can plan out my month as well. And that way they felt accountable. And so I would check in with them. So on, let's say, Thursday night, 2 people on my team had a party. I would send them a quick text, good luck at your party. Let me know if I can do anything. Don't forget about this, whatever I could to help motivate them. Don't forget to talk to people about the business opportunity. So that was very helpful. I know that helps a lot of new directors with figuring out their numbers. And so also asking your team members, what is your goal at that party? How much are you planning on selling? So that you have those numbers, and you can say, okay, if everything goes well, we're going to hit 20,000 group wholesale volume this month. If things, if everybody only does half, then we're going to hit 10,000. So that kind of gives you a way to predict what's going to happen. So I really like that big calendar idea. And if nothing else, what people are doing, or that Susie only has 2 parties this month, yet she wants to earn the 2-year plan. She wants to sell 2,002. So you're going to know to check in with her and say, hey, how many more parties have you booked? So that's idea number 1.
And you can even take that virtually. I know some people that create a Google Docs calendar, and then they can upload that link to your team page, and then people can literally add in their own parties, freeing up a little time for you too. Like if you're maybe working a full-time job and you don't have as much time to maybe get all those dates written down yourself, you can always upload a virtual calendar too. is an
And
idea as well.
that's why people like you are so cool, because I am not cool enough to even know how to do that.
Stop
But
it.
I love that. I love that idea. That is amazing. So yes, do what she said. Don't go out and buy your big desk calendar. That's actually, but for those of you.
Some people are pen and paper people though.
Right, right. Those of you who are pen and paper people, which is me with my, I've got, you should see, I have notes and lists and all surrounding me right now. Everybody, I have all these plans and ideas and lists and to-dos, which could be right on my phone organized, but I'm a highlighter girl. I love highlighters. So I love, like, different colors mean different things to me. So I love my highlighters. So my second idea, which is so funny that I've pulled it back and I'm actually doing it as a team incentive this month, but this is one of my most favorite incentives. And this is where every time somebody goes to a party on my team, they text me after their party. So as soon as they get back into their car, they sit down and they send me a text, and they send me their PRV, comma, the number of bookings that they got at the party, comma, the number of potential recruits. And then what I do is I take all of those texts, and either weekly or monthly, and I throw them into a pot, and I do a drawing. A prize. You're struggling with, oh my gosh, I don't have enough money for prizes. You know what? Go to the dollar store. One of the things that I used to buy a lot of at the dollar store was you could, I don't even know if they still have them, but they have 10 packs of note cards for $1, and they come in a cute little organza bag and cute little cards. I mean, something like that, and just cute. I mean, one time I found a set of, I was at the Christmas tree shop. I found some heart-shaped measuring spoons, and they were $2.99, and they were super nice quality, and they were so cute, and people loved them, and it was something that they thought might have come from this really amazing store, and it only cost me $2.99. Another thing that Orville said one time that really resonated with me was, if you have a talent or a gift, and let's say you have a local team, and let's say you're a great baker, the person who wins this is going to get a dozen fresh baked hot, chocolate chip cookies that I'm going to deliver to your home, or I'll ship them to your house, or what. It doesn't have to be anything expensive when you do these incentives. So anyway, back to the incentive. When they text you, what I love about that incentive is that I know I start to see a pattern, and I start to see, okay, she's really good at booking parties, but she's always got a 0 next to potential recruits. And so I know as a leader, I need to focus with her on how to start having people interested in the business opportunity. Or if their PRV is always around 200 or 250, I know that, okay, why is it that every time I do a home party, my hostesses always hit $500, and why are her parties always at 200? So we have conversations about that. So I'm not training her on booking parties when clearly she's okay with booking parties. I'm going to focus my time on what's important so that neither of us have wasted time. So that's one of my most favorite incentives to do. For incentives to do for my team members, the text, sorry.
I love that. And when you start like doing your research and listening to leaders talk about, there's so many discounted ways to do recognition, really inexpensive. Jamie Solins the other night on the Glow talked about AliExpress, AliExpress, really inexpensive stuff. The Cheryl's cookie cards are super cute, inexpensive. Even just a handwritten note means a lot, right? I mean, like, absolutely. When I get a handwritten note in the mail, I'm like, oh wow. I mean, someone took time to do that. That means something even. So I love that. Okay, so you mentioned Mary Christensen. I want to know, what are the books that you would say are on a must-read list for someone who wants to hit director, maintain director? What would be on your must-read book list? If you could prioritize it, number one, what you would say must, and then maybe a couple others.
I would say, now I can't remember what they are, but the second and third book that she wrote. So there's
How to Be a Network Marketing Superstar.
Yeah, that one.
Right?
Yeah, yes. Party Plan Superstar. That's a good one too.
Cool.
Well, it depends on, if you're really wanting to focus on being a leader, maybe get one of the leadership books. Honestly, I love every book she's written. She truly, the first 4, to be perfectly honest, the last one, the leadership book that she wrote, is great, but I felt like I had a pretty good grasp. The end of it, I got some out of it, but I would start with book number 1. Even though that's an older one, you could skip that one. If you were going to skip one, I would skip the first one. But I feel like I definitely got a lot of information even out of that one. But definitely the second one, the third one, like, get those and read them. Like, You have to have it done by Friday. They're so good. The amount of ideas just for you and your personal business, just for booking ideas and recruiting ideas and I mean, there's so many great tips in there. I love it. And
yes. Her book, How to Be a Recruiting Superstar, after I left Reunion the first year I went in Fort Worth, Texas, that was the first book I read, How to Be a Recruiting Superstar, because I decided I wanted to be a recruiting superstar.
Yeah.
And that book changed my business. Like, it's probably my favorite book ever. So I love that you love her too, because she's phenomenal. Okay. So another thing I want to talk to you about is time is always an issue. And we know when you started your business, you were working a full-time job. So I want to know, maybe people who are out there working a full-time job, what tips would you give for prioritizing? I think that's always a challenge for people, to actually prioritize what are the things I really need to be doing. You know, because sometimes our to-do list gets so long and we think we have to accomplish everything, and then we end up accomplishing nothing because we get stuck on a task or whatever. So what are things that must be on your to-do list as an aspiring director or young director that you can't pass up on, got to find a way to fit in there? What are those priorities that you would say should be on the calendar?
I am so sorry. The builder, I'm going to let you talk for just a second. We're doing an addition and the builder's trying to get my attention. Hold on one second. So
no problem. You can just mute your microphone, and then when you come back. Okay. So while Jen is doing that, I'm going to talk to you guys about a prioritizing tip that I use. So when it comes to prioritizing my to-do list, I like to do the ABCDE method. You might have heard of that before. A is a high-level priority. So let me say this first. So I take my personal to-do list and my business to-do list, and I have them. Oh, Jen, you're back. That was fast.
Sorry. Oh my gosh, he was ringing the doorbell and you guys couldn't hear it, but I was like, hold on a second.
No, you're fine. So should I repeat it, or did you hear me okay?
You're saying prioritizing, right? So how to prioritize time management.
What are the most important things that, let's say they have 30 minutes or an hour to work their business every day. What are the things that, as an aspiring director or a young director, you would never want to see them skip doing? Like, what are those priority things that they need to be doing for their personal business and for their team?
Right. And for me, this answer is so easy. And I also feel this might be where so many people go wrong. It's working your business. There's no better training than showing your team what you're doing. So I think sometimes we get so focused as leaders on leading and helping others, which is important, but the best way to lead is to lead from the front. So doing income producing activities. So surfing Facebook and commenting on people's posts is important as a leader. However, if you only have 30 minutes or an hour a day, that's a waste of your time. You need to be booking parties and talking to everybody you can about booking parties. And honestly, that's the number one thing to me. I feel like booking parties is so huge. If you need to make samples, that would be considered an income producing activities. If you're out trying to book parties with people, making phone calls, talking to people about the business opportunity, you have to work your own business. You are a leader, but if you have, like I said, if you have 1 hour, then you can do some quick check-ins with your team, but you're better off to have a page or for somewhere where you post, okay, here's what I did today, guys. And I booked 2 parties by calling 10 people. I made 10 personal phone calls. Here's what I said. And I booked 2 parties. That's the best training you're going to give anybody. So I think it's really, really important that you grow your business. You never, ever stop growing your business. I've been a superstar director for 7 years, and I still accomplish the 2-year plan almost every month. There are very few months that I haven't. So I work as hard as I can, and it's my business, I know, is so important. So I feel like if your time is limited, work your business. Be there for your team, but be there as a role model. Show them what you're doing instead of, I think I don't have to beat a dead horse. I think you understand what I'm saying.
I think that was super well said, and I'm really glad you said it, because a lot of people think they're going to get to a certain point, director, star, superstar director, or whatever, and then just sit back and collect the income. Our comp plan isn't designed like that. We've got to be selling 500 PRV every single month. And as we promote other directors, we have to be maintaining our team volume. And so if we are not continuing to recruit, but we're promoting other leaders, we're going to see our team wholesale volume collapsing, and then we're not going to be able to maintain. So you really can never stop working.
Never.
Ever. And the truth is, you don't want to, because if your team sees you not working, what's that going to make them think? So I love that you said that. And I think it's super true. So when it comes to coaching your team, let's say that you're working with your frontline or wanting to work with your frontline. I think a lot of young directors feel very hesitant and feel very nervous about that process of maybe coaching their team or checking in with their team to see how they're performing or what they have this month. I know you mentioned that team calendar, which can help with that. But a lot of people, I think, feel, when I talk with my up and coming leaders, they feel almost awkward about that approach, almost awkward about coming to someone, almost like they feel like they're that person's boss, and we know we're no one's boss. So what would you say to those leaders who are hesitant to have those conversations? Maybe what are tips you would give on how to approach those conversations? What's good to say? And just kind of a general outlook about that whole topic, if that makes sense.
It definitely makes sense. So I feel like that's what keeps me honest. That's what keeps me working. So I feel like if I'm going to ask people to have goals, then I need to have goals. So if I were going to have a conversation like that with somebody that I was a little nervous about, I would probably say, hey, I love to share my goals, and I would love to know what your goals are, because it keeps me working hard. It keeps me motivated. So I am planning this month to sell $2,000, and I only have 2 parties booked right now. So I'm working really hard. Just share and be honest and say, here's what's on my schedule for the month. So what's on your schedule? And I'm pretty forward, tough love sometimes. Like, I am just very black and white. Like, I don't try to go through, and I worry about people's feelings, don't get me wrong, because I really do want to motivate people and I want to inspire them. But like I said, I'm a firm believer in leading from the front. So if I'm uncomfortable, I'll just say, here are my goals. What are yours? Because then they'll see, oh my gosh, you want to sell 2,000 and you only have 2 parties booked right now? And I'll say, yes, I know, I'm brainstorming. I've got my Mary Christensen book out looking for ideas. So I'm just perfectly honest with them. I'll share my goals. I'll post on my team page sometime, this is what I have going this month. It's the 15th of the month. I only have 500 PRV right now, and I have 2 parties coming up. So what are your suggestions, I'll say, to help me get to 2,000 by the end of the month? And it's kind of fun, and they'll give their ideas. So it's just, again, leading from the front, I always try, and I always, I always want to be the top seller in my group or my team, my team and my group, and the top recruiter. And it's hard sometimes, and I get so excited when I'm not. The secret is I don't really want top one, but I want people to beat me, and because that helps all of us. But I am always, the competitive part of me, I want to do that. So I think just being honest, and I don't think that if you just, we're all in this for the same reason. I mean, anybody who's under you, you're definitely not their boss. You're nothing but the lucky person that sponsored them, and you have a great role of modeling great behaviors for them so that they can copy you. And so keeping in touch with them is very important. And I don't think maybe that's not the best answer. I'm not really.
No, it's perfect.
I feel like I'm not saying right exactly, but that's what I would do. I would just tell them, here are my goals. What are yours? And
I love it, and I wouldn't have thought of that answer actually. But I'm really like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I think in doing that, it's important that we make it clear that whatever that person's goal is just as important. Because we never want someone to feel like those people that want to just be active each month, they're just as important as those people that want to sell the 2,000 each month, because we need everybody, right? And so, just because like Jen's talking about sharing that goal, not that ours is more valid than theirs. And so making it clear that like, this is so awesome. That's so cool. Like, and we're both working towards our goal with passion. Both of our goals are important, and so it's so cool that you can have those conversations and affirm those people that even have smaller goals. And I love that. And so speaking of those smaller goal people, so many young directors will say, I haven't found someone who wants to work their business yet. Most of my team is just really casual. You know, I struggle to get people active, and, you know, people are just they don't seem engaged. What tips would you give a director like that, or an up and coming director like that, who hasn't really found their rock star yet, hasn't really found someone who's working the business as a business? Their whole team is a lot of hobbyists. What advice would you give them regarding that? Like helping to encourage those team members and all of that stuff. Like what advice would you give to those people that just feel like, man, I haven't found my rock star. I'm just a lot of casual sellers.
Well, you mentioned a few minutes ago, we appreciate all of those who maybe don't sell a ton. We need them on our team. They're very important, especially as you start to promote more and more leaders. You need your team wholesale volume to stay up there. So very important that you keep them around. But the bottom line is, you can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink, as we all know. And so you need to go find more people. You need to go find your rock stars. So when your team is, you know, I hear it all the time. Like you said, oh, nobody on my team does anything. Well, then go find new people. That's always my answer. You have to continuously recruit and sponsor new people and train them. Oh, I had a thought. What was I going to say? Oh, it was a good one too. Shoot. I'm so distracted right now. I have all these men like looking at me in the window, like they're trying to build, they're doing my audition. Oh, what was it? It was so good. Okay. Refresh me again. Help me. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I know. She literally has construction going on.
They're out here banging on my wall. They're going to cut my wall out in a little while. So we'll be off this call by then.
You had said you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Right. You have to actively pursue new team members. You're, you know, just waiting for that next rock star, really.
Oh, I got it. So it's finding your A team. And that's one thing that I talk a lot about. I think so many times we want to put on our superhero coat, a cape, and we want to go and we want to find all these poor people that, you know, this poor mom who's just really struggling, and which are very important people to have on our team. We do want to be superheroes. We do want to help them buy milk, and we do want people to be able to afford a second car so that they, you know, we want all of that, but you also want your A team. So if you were a business and building this amazing, important business, and it was so important that it were successful, who are you going to go after? Who do you want to hire to help run your company? You want A team members. You want college educated, and not that they have to be college educated, but I think you understand my point. So when you walk into the bank, it's, you know, and you see I'm so stereotyping, and I swear to God, I'm not like this at all. And I don't mean this. I'm just trying to make a point. So if you walk into, I'm going to use a school. If you walk into a school and you're thinking about, okay, who would I want to sponsor in this school? Well, my mind automatically goes to the principal, because the principal is an amazing business builder. They have amazing people skills. They are really, really good at what they do. And that, you know, and the teachers, and I wouldn't, okay, that was a really bad example. And I usually use the bank, and then I got kind of nervous because I feel bad because I don't want to offend anybody. But for example, when you walk into a bank, you've got your bank teller. And I love bank tellers, and I'm facing consultants who are bank tellers. But don't forget about the president of the bank. And you might think to yourself, why the heck would the president of a bank ever want to be a Sensi consultant? Because they're amazing business people. They know what they're doing. They understand the compensation plan. They have passion, and they work way too much. So by having an amazing job, I was a six-figure earner, income earner personally when I started Sensi. Nobody ever asked me to sell anything except for one cute little pampered chef lady, but that was another story. But I was making six figures, and I was a dental hygienist. And I might not have been the kind of person that people would ask to join a direct sales company, but nobody knew what was going on. Nobody understood that I had medical bills piling up, and I needed to pay them off. And thank God, at one point, a cute little pampered chef lady asked me if I would like to join her team. And I was like, what? No way am I gonna, first of all, I don't cook, but no way am I gonna sell anything. I'm a hygienist. And so she was in the back of my mind, and I remembered that when I knew I needed money. And so that's when I Googled home party businesses, and that's where I chose Sensi. So don't be afraid of the A team. Get those super successful, make a list of the 10 people that are the most successful people you know, because even if they aren't interested, chances are, because typically you are like who you hang around. So they may have somebody in their circle that would be a fantastic person to join your team and could maybe teach you a ton about business or about people skills. I love the book, The Go-Giver. And that's another fantastic book if you haven't read that one. It's so simple and quick and easy to read, but what a great concept is just give, give, give. So anyway, finding your A-team. Ask tons of people and don't be afraid of the super successful people, because for every 10 recruits that you get, you want 2 of them to be highly successful people, because they just might be your next superstar director. So, but we don't judge. That's another thing I always, this kind of goes against my never judge, never assume that somebody's not going to be a great consultant. Because I will tell you, I have sponsored super successful people that do absolutely nothing. And I have sponsored people that I thought would never do a thing with this business that became superstar directors. So you never know, but just don't be afraid of talking to everybody. You're not a good judge. That's the one thing I've learned. Don't judge. You have no idea who this business is good for and who it isn't. Just when you think you know and you've got it all figured out, then somebody's going to change it and somebody's going to show you that you have no idea. So ask everybody.
Jenn's totally right. And Jenn and I both didn't start out like we were going to be SSDs or build it. I mean, Jenn pushed director away for quite a while, right? Wasn't it a few months that you pushed director away, didn't want to promote to director?
Yes, I was scared to death to become a director because I thought that if I'm a director, I have to do all these things. I have to manage all these people. I have to check on them. I have to do this and I have to do that. And I had a full-time job and 2 children and a marriage, and I was a volunteer, and I didn't have time for all of that. And so what I learned was I just needed to work my business, because all of the people were just going to do what I was doing. Your team literally does what you do. If you rely on Facebook and you're just posting constantly on your personal page looking for sales and you're not getting much, that's what your team's going to do too, because they're going to say, oh, that's what she's doing, and she's a director, so she must be super successful by doing this. So they're copying you. So better yet, go to the mall and take selfies of yourself and put it on your team page and say, hey, I'm at the mall. My goal today is I'm going to walk into 5 stores. I'm going to talk to 5 people in these stores about booking a party or joining my team or whatever it is that you want. So yes.
I love that you said that. That just made me so happy, because it's so true. I mean, your team is absolutely looking to you, leading from the front, being the engine, not the caboose. It's so important. And that's what I try to do every day. It's so easy to just show your team simple ways you're working your business that day. Anything you're doing, if you're putting together fundraising packets, if you're bagging a Scentsy order, if you're putting together a mini tester set to mail to someone, snap a picture, go live on your team page, just show them what you're doing. Bring them on your journey with you. Teach them to do the same thing with their team. And I was the same way when I joined in May of 2010. I literally joined because I just wanted a discount, wanted to buy from myself. I thought my mom would probably buy from me. That was the plan. That was it. And then everything changed when I went to Reunion and saw the potential. That's when it really came to my mind. Like, that's when I really realized that this was a career. This is something I could build into, a 6-figure income and beyond. And once I realized that and took a hold of it, I wasn't going to let that go. And so Jenn and I are both examples of people that when we first joined, I don't think anybody would have bet on either one of us.
Right. So true. I know. I still can't even believe this is my full-time job. I am here. I'm not in an operatory cleaning teeth right now because of Scentsy. It's amazing. It's such a fantastic opportunity for everybody. And I just hope that each of you truly understands the opportunity that's in front of you, because you can join today. You could be a superstar of the top income earners in the company by this time next year. Easily. And I know I shouldn't say easily, because it will take a lot of work, but it's possible. And there are so few companies out there where it's still possible to join today and become one of the most successful people. And that's one of the greatest things about our compensation plan, is that it's so fair to me and to the essential consultant. And they don't allow us to compete. They keep the playing field even so that I don't have an advantage over the brand new consultant. It is amazing. We are so lucky and so blessed. And, stay focused on Scentsy would be one of my biggest pieces of advice. Don't look at other companies. The grass is never going to be greener. You'll hear that on the other side.
Or other consultants, even within your company.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So just focus and work hard and do all the things that you need to do. Read the right books. Surround yourself with people that have the same goals and interests as you. I see that so often when people, they're just around these negative people constantly, and it just brings them down. Well, if your friends or whoever it is that you're spending a lot of time with, your Sensi accountability partner, if it's not the most positive person, then go find somebody who really inspires you and work with them, because you can do anything. I mean, each and every one of us could be 7-figure earners with a lot of hard work within, 5 to 10 years. And where else do you have the opportunity to do that? Nowhere. We're so lucky. So lucky.
Yeah. Okay, Jen, I have one final question that you just brought me to that I want to ask you, and then I will let you go. We got a sale to go market.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
30 minutes.
30 minutes. Wow.
Okay, so, hey, this has been nice because it's helped me patiently wait till noon.
I know, me too. My phone is upside down. I probably have a message or two from people.
Right? Being on the East Coast, sometimes it's so hard as a Sensi consultant. So you're like, we have to wait until 2 or 3 or noon.
Right.
Okay, so my last question is, this is something more about our mental outlook on things. So as a young director, or even someone aspiring to be director, what would you say to someone who is really afraid of DQ? They're like, I just promoted to director. I got a team of 18. I'm, really nervous about this DQ thing. What would you just say to somebody who's an aspiring director and they're like, I don't want to promote to director anytime soon because it intimidates me. I'm worried about DQ. I don't want to promote to director until I feel like I have a big enough team that I can maintain it. What would you say to people who are having that fear and that outlook on it?
So I feel strongly that this isn't about you. This isn't about a title. This isn't about any of that. This is about growing your family, growing yourself, growing and being a good example and helping other people. But it's not about a title, I should say. Who cares if you go to DQ? Honestly, I mean, I'm the kind of person that I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen for me personally, but that's my personality. And if that's not your personality, then who the heck cares? Who cares? So work hard, don't give up, don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid to hit director, because you're just going to keep doing the things that you're doing. And again, that was one thing that I didn't know when I started. And make sure your team members know that. If you do have a little more time and you have a rock star under you, make sure she knows that, you know what, if you hit director, I'm there for you. I'm going to help your people. I'll do whatever you want. I can help in any way that you want me to, if you have the time. You have to fit Sensi into your life. You have to make this work for you. You have to do hard things sometimes, but the titles sometimes drive me bananas, because who really cares if you're a DQ or a director? It's your goal. What is your goal? Because if you have a little step back, just work harder, hit that 2-year plan. If you're doing the 2-year plan, if you make that your new goal, even if you did half of it, if you sell 1,000 a month and sponsor one person every month and help that one person do the same thing, you're golden. Like, you're not going to lose your director numbers, but you have. And my favorite quotes is, whether you think you can or can't, you're right. So it's totally, completely up to you. I tell people, you have a crystal ball, you can see your future, and you just have to do it. You have to do what it takes to get there. You have to work hard. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about the title. Work hard and hit your numbers. And that's probably, I don't know what kind of answer you were hoping that I would give, but
I think it's perfect. So often we just compare our journeys to other people, and I hate to see that. I've done it plenty of times. I understand that it's difficult not to do, but it's like, I think so much of our success is really just wrapped up in here. Yes. We might want it in our heart. We might be excited about it in our heart, but in our head, our fears, our doubts, our insecurities, the comparison, all of that stuff just gets in there and clouds our mind, and messes things up. So I think it's so important that as we are building and working towards our goals, that we don't compare. And the only thing we compare is where we were last month or where we were this time last year. That's really all we should be comparing, and just realizing that, this journey is going to look different for everyone. Jen's journey looks different than my journey. Jen's journey looks different than her friend Sally's journey. And I think that's super important as well. And I want to add that too. But Jenn, I'm so grateful for you. You spent quite a lot of time with us this morning, and I really appreciate you just being so open and honest and helping answer these questions that I know a lot of, even, this has been public, so anyone in the Scentsy family can watch this. So this is going to help a lot of aspiring directors and young directors. And so I know I speak for everyone when I say thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much. What an honor. And I am so excited. Katie and I don't want to be one of only, 300 superstar directors. We want there to be thousands and thousands of us. So it's a cool thing to be a superstar director and to get to go to Idaho year, and you guys, and we so believe in you, and we want you on this journey with us at the top of the company. And so good luck to all of you. Work hard, read The Go-Giver. That will give you some super inspiration that will really, like, when I read that book, I just felt like, oh my gosh, I'm going to conquer the world. I'm going to give. So it's a really fantastic book. But thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.